Alright, so we're heading back over into Asheville right now. We worked the first 2 days basically just getting access to folks who have been stuck for a couple days, and now we're starting finally to get trees off of houses and driveways so people can get their houses tarped. We got another storm coming in this weekend. The first couple days when a storm like this comes through, number one, emergency services don't want a bunch of people in here for many reasons. There's limited resources. You're really just trying to get access to get to these folks so people can get in and out. There's no power, there's no cell service, there's no fuel, there's no supplies. So when a bunch of people come into a town like that and use what resources there are, it's also not good. But once everything's kind of starts to get opened back up, then you have, you know, the next phase would be getting, what we're starting to do now is getting trees off houses and driveways and power lines so that the power companies can come in and start putting up power lines back. And then you start the reconstruction phase, which is where everyone thinks it starts immediately, where you just bring in dozers and excavators and dump trucks and start building roads and putting bridges and retaining walls and repairing homes and stuff like that. Like, that's the very end of everything, and everyone just thinks that you fly right in here with all that stuff right up front. For some reason, there's a huge stigma with this storm work that have open checks everywhere and you get paid right then. But this is the way this storm work works is much different than what most people think. There's people that, you know, want to come in and make good money that don't have the experience. When these trees are down, they're bound up and they're, you know, still suspended in the air. It's very, very dangerous cutting this stuff. And if you don't have experience doing that, you know, you yourself could then be, you know, part of the rescue missions. That's not something that anyone needs. The other side of it is the financial part. You know, a lot of folks also think that you can come in here and make a ton of money, and there is a possibility to make a lot of money, and you can make it work a bunch of different ways, but the way it really, I feel like, it should work, and in most cases has to work, is that a lot of these folks are relying on their insurance company to take care of these payments. So when you come in here, you do the work, you then have to bill the insurance company, which can take, you know, months to get paid back from. So you have to be able to float all your expenses until then. Some customers here are, you know, will be in a position that they can write you a check and then wait on the insurance company to reimburse them. But many, many folks are not in that position. They've just lost everything they have. They don't know how they're getting to the next point of their life. And the last thing they need is another financial burden to pay for, you know, getting out of their place or getting a tree off of their place or whatever. And I don't think it's right for a lot of folks to come in here and add that burden on to these people. So there's a couple caveats with this storm work that a lot of people don't really understand that I think should understand if you're going to do storm work. And, you know, we can have a much longer conversation about how all this stuff works and how to get on lists and all that stuff. There's really a bad stigma around storm work that a lot of people really need to understand. And we're going to continue on cutting some stuff off of houses and try to work as hard as we can to get some stuff tarped and prepared for this next storm. We've got a large crew. We got a bunch of equipment over here. We do have some other folks starting to come in from other areas that are going to be able to help us out. And we'll see what the next storm brings us. Hopefully we don't have to start this whole process back over.
This shoulder road is my home.
Look at the railroad tracks.
Carries me on and on. And all the seems to get real cold.
We're heading into Vanderbilt. I've got two more trucks with me. Thanks. This is the main access into Biltmore Forest, and this whole entire road, you'll see how many trees we had to cut. None of this was opened up. And then you'll also see where somebody else had cut. There's an extreme difference. When we pulled up here the other day, the power company and AT&T booster truck was trying to get in here and couldn't get in, so they just followed us as we cut through. And then once we finally got in, that's when the police officer just escorted us around the folks who were stuck. But you'll see when we get up here, there's all these houses. These homeowners, they're older homeowners, like they would have never been able to cut through all this stuff, you know. And Biltmore Forest doesn't have, they have a public works, but it's like 6 guys, you know, they can't they can't open all this stuff up. Could you imagine being stuck in your house with no power, no cell phone service, nothing to get out to the outside world for 4 fucking days? And I'm sure there's still people still trapped in other areas that we don't know about, you know. This lady was crying when we cut her out. She was so happy. So this is about where we were able to stop cutting. From here, someone else had already cut. But look at that, watch that and see the difference. We're trying to get a side-by-side stay here. NC Public Works hasn't even started on it. I guess they think, well, there's at least people can get through, you know. There's a tree that fell through a house that's literally went all the way to the basement. Let me go see if someone's in this house real quick, all right? Perfect example. That lady was so old it took her that long to get to the door. She's got 3 driveways. These first 2 are blocked, but there's a 3rd one. The 3rd one's open, but they're by herself. I mean, probably 80-something years old. The night before, the police department escorted us to people who couldn't get out. So I stopped here at Public Works yesterday morning and said, hey, you know, do you know of anyone else that can't get out? We want to, you know, get to them before we start working for homeowners. Such a fucking dick. He was like, I can't take you to anybody. You know, I was like, well, I'm not asking for any money from you or from them or anyone. Like, I just want to make sure these older people can get out. You know, they don't have a way to even call to help for help, you know? And he was like, man, you need to just go work for whoever you're working for. And I was like, you don't give a fuck about the old people that can't get out of their houses? And they're like, well, we work with another contractor that is helping with the roads. So I'm not worried about the roads. So I know you'll get to the roads at some point, but what about these old people that have shit blocking their driveway? They can't get to fucking town, you know? Complete asshole. Like that driveway right there. But everybody has seen that, you know what I mean? That's not the problem. Everyone knows that that driveway's blocked, so they obviously know no one's there. It's the other places that are like on the edges of this area that people haven't went to. Alright, we're gonna get started, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep, cutting back here and then I cut up there. I was only cutting through the one, but it's the whole fucking leader. I need to work that on back right there. And we'll see if we can lift up on that.
How do you want to do that? Because I can't pick that tree up.
I'll cut it back with the bucket truck back there. We'll cut everything that we can off there. I'll let you hold the top and then I'll cut back here. So you're just holding the section that's on the house and the rest of it will fall down to the ground. Probably have to do this other one the same way. Juan, can y'all hook up to that trailer and go ahead and put the truck trailer over there too?
Oh, with all these miles, hurting on my soul. I am just a rambling man.
Las mujeres primero, todos allá, muy bien, en ahí atrás, en de frente, corta todos los troncos, de rama, todos atrás, y las máquinas ahí. You want me to use this, let them cut bigger pieces, and you reach up there and grab the pieces and bring them down? And I'll keep the weight off of this, or vice versa.
This one ain't gonna set back down.
No.
It might hang in the air.
Yeah, it'll hang in the air. And that bird box, I don't think it's gonna make it.
No. We're following up on insurance.
When Juan gets down there, tell him we gotta tarp that house.
With this 6-string careless dance, and I'll keep duets on this dry land until I can find myself some words again.
Just shoot me a text message with your contact info, the address, and any pictures that you might have, and we'll get you on the schedule. We'll get you on the schedule. We're just going around and getting stuff off houses first. Hello. Yes, John. I'm already trying to call to sell me an MCA. Look. Hey, we're in Asheville doing disaster work right now. I can't take a business call for this stuff. We need a strategy real quick. The bucket truck don't need to be sitting. I need to use it to get 2 more trees off houses, but I really kind of need the mini over there. to kind of get in front of me, but I don't want these guys sitting or the skid steer sitting, you know.
You one more guy.
Fuck, I know. Cody's goddamn bitch ass has said for 2 days he's gonna be up here, man. So I've relied on him to be here instead of lining somebody else up, you know. If we had someone here to run the skid steer, they could just be pulling all this stuff from here and from there out while we go do the other two that are on the houses. What effort is that making? You know what I'm saying? Like, so much other shit to be done. Carried one handful of brush over to the curb. That's why I wanted yesterday to show Melchor how to use it. Melchor! He ain't letting no one have that big saw.
Oh no.
I think they're all like, you have that saw, I have this saw. Just tell what came out of that house in the corner over there. ¿Tú te gusta, creo, usar esta troca?
One.
The bucket. Y'all load this up. Load up the mini. I'll drop the bucket and the boys can ride with you. Do you mind to just ship another text, man, with same information? Just so it goes to the top of the list. Anything you do here has to be permitted, and you can't cut any trees, which is probably why it's so bad. There's way more trees, and a lot of them should have been cut. But even dead trees, sometimes they won't permit you to cut. You know, everything has to be zero ground impact. A lot of ground, a lot of house impact, a lot of road, some vehicle impact. This lady that we're going to now is it was the very first person that we got to the other night that had been stuck. And I was like, you guys want any water, Gatorade, snacks? I asked them 3 or 4 times, and they're like, no, we're good. We've had everything in here we needed. And then they were like, you know, let's come with me and let's check on our neighbor who was much older than them. Thankfully, that person was fine, said the same thing, didn't want no snacks. They didn't want to come outside. And then they walked with me to the third house that we had got to, and, you know, same thing. You know, y'all want any snacks, water, Gatorade? And then the person who had been walking with me the whole time was like, well, what kind of snacks do you have?
Hey, I've got, it looks like a big donation of chainsaws coming. If you don't have any headed up your way, let me know. I'll figure out how to get them to you.
We just bought a bunch yesterday, but I've got a lot of guys coming into town, so I'm sure that, you know, they could be put to use for sure.
If there's anything else y'all need, I've been flying into there regularly, so if there's a list of shit you need, I can also, instead of getting these, I can get marble, chains, whatever.
All right, brother, I appreciate you, man.
See you.
All right, see ya. That's cool, huh? Go ahead and get that down and walk it around the side of the house here. If we can get a couple of these limbs here. This looks like an old road bed, but it's kind of cut up around. If I can just get to where it's right in front of the boys, I can reach up there to the top and do what we need to do.
When I lie my head down, well, I hear these voices in my head.
Get back, legend. Get back.
Keep on trucking, son, and you'll get near. Here is where never roads always clear. 'Cause I am just a rambling man with a 6-string cow's can.
Water or anything, because still there's no stores open. And then they have to go through 3 Point all the way down through to Morganton, so nobody's coming or going to Spruce Pine. They just keep going straight, you know, up to Boone and shit. So I just need operators, climbers, bucket truck operators. Got a crane, you got access to anyone with a crane. See what he'd want to come over here too. I mean, there's months of crane removal stuff over here. We're doing everything out of a bucket right now, which is a little more difficult, but you know, you can't get cranes in because there's so many low trees and stuff. We're not even doing cleanup right now. We're literally just setting it by the road, and FEMA will come through with knuckle booms, you know.
Grab it. I'll cut it back here, man.
It's barely at the incline right now. I'd say once I get that down, you pull all that shit out so you can get down below the wall, you can stay down there really. Keep pushing that shit that way. I didn't even know there was another tree on the house over there.
And I'll keep due west on this dry land until I can find myself persevere.
If I can come through, I'm gonna get this one. And I just keep going around.
everything needs to go this way though, so you really need to come from the side we're on. Give them the tarp and stuff up there from the bucket, and then I can move it.
I think they already got it.
This road is my home. Carry me through years to come. And all the things you get me home. With all these miles hurting on my.
Pull this way.
Over there, I just laid on it. This side's got 20 limbs through the roof, but it's in a small spot. So, and it's all tarped all the way up over this side of the roof. So. I'm gonna get this truck over. I'm gonna try to cut that